everybody. Reverend Mike McMorrow here, coming to you from the sanctuary at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California. Oh, I think we're a little hot because I'm in front of the speaker. A place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. There we go. And so I'd like to welcome you to our Wednesday night Get Real and Heal meditation service. And for just a little while longer, we're going to continue doing our little warm-up exercises because we are going to be doing a little change up here on Wednesday night as our presiders start coming back for live in-service on Wednesday nights. And so maybe Renzen can pan back and show the chairs in the sanctuary. You can see that things are changing up in here. We're getting ready to come back on Sunday at both 9 o'clock and 10:30. And no pre-registration. We'll be wearing masks for a couple more weeks, I'm thinking, until we get to Los Angeles County is still in the high transmission zone. And so as you guys get more comfortable with the idea of being here with other people, we'll start making our way back together. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. So let's just start. We're going to warm the neck up again, as we've been doing. So we're just going to turn to the right and eyes forward, turn to the left. And I've been doing a lot of desk work, a lot of computer work to the right this week. Turn. I know many of you, that is what you do. So I hope you're getting a benefit out of these little warm-ups. Because it's amazing how stiff the neck can be. So supposedly your head weighs about 14 to 15 pounds. Unless you have a head like mine. It's a little lightheaded. So it might only be 10 pounds. All right, so let's roll the neck around, just pick a direction. Just very gently. And this should feel good. So it'd be nice to have people in here on Wednesday nights again. Let's go back the other way. Renzen's going to bring his guitar in and start playing for us.
Am I now?
Reverse the other way. All right, okay. Now let's do some shoulder rolls. And back the other way. This is like, not really yoga, but it is activating. I can feel a little bit of warmth, a little bit of energy moving. All right, so we're going to stick our right hand on our hip, drop the left hand down, and just raise that left arm, looking to the left through the armpit. Feel a nice little stretch. And release. And I don't have my pal Miriam in here tonight, so I can't crack any jokes. Okay, left hand on the hip. Serious business tonight. Right hand up, looking through the right armpit, and just get a gentle stretch in there. And maybe you can see why we warm up the neck first. Okay, arm down. Right arm on the hip. Left hand down, thumb out. Breathing on the way up. And let's lift the ribs up off the waist. Take a couple breaths here. And release. Hands on the waist. Right arm down, thumb out. Breathing on the way up. And exhale down. All right. And so let's do a few adapted sun salutations. Okay, so we're just going to breathe, bring both arms up, and then exhale down. Just get a nice, gentle stretch in a flat back. Release the neck. Tighten the belly. Bend the knees, breathing on the way up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Bend the knees, tighten the belly, inhale up. Exhale down. And just hang for a minute or two. Tighten the belly, inhale up. Exhale down. Feel that nice, gentle stretch as your body says, thank you for moving. Thank you for moving me today. Inhale up to a standing position and just gentle twists. So we got a little out of sequence today. All right, and release. Make our way over to the cushion. Okay. Down we go. I'm making a little extra time for us tonight so that we can spend some time meditating. A little extra time as it is Ash Wednesday, so we don't observe the ashes. And we teach that there is no sin but a mistake. So we don't need to do penance for anything. But we can certainly ask ourselves, what is it that we're willing to release in order to make room for something wonderful? Perhaps a new habit or a way of being. So we can say release sugar so that we can feel less stiff, experience our body with less inflammation, those kinds of things. So we'll ponder those this evening as we begin our evening, as we do everything here at the center, by taking a deep conscious breath and release, allowing ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So, as we have lit the first candles for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and within our own hearts. And as we remember those suffering in the Ukraine, within our own country, those suffering anywhere on the planet, those within your own family circle perhaps, we light the healing candle. So please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God.
Again, taking a deep breath. Releasing, using the breath to anchor us in this moment. We recognize and know together that there is only one thing going on here, God, and nothing else. That there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life, one living intelligence, one infinite heart of the divine. It is the creative impulse of life itself, and that we are one with it. And so as we consider and then allow this conscious union with the one in this moment, I know for everyone on this call here this evening that we are open at the top. We are open and receptive in mind and heart to have an experience of the divine, to have an experience of stillness, of peace, of harmony, of connection, of peaceful abiding by means of this meditation service here tonight. That we just simply, even as we are setting the intention for our practice this evening, we are releasing any sense of attachment to what that's supposed to look like. That we claim this time for our own, to sit in the stillness, and that we are open to a healing sense of restoration and wholeness as the divine makes itself known to us. And so we take a deep breath, and in deep gratitude and confidence, we simply release it all to that aspect of the mind of the divine which makes things so. We release it, we let it go, let it be so, and together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So I'm not going to read the whole thing for tonight. We're in a new month, March. The theme for March in the 365 is faith. And Holmes writes, faith is a mental attitude that is so convinced of its own idea, which so completely accepts it, that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. So here we are at the May 2nd, Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday is an interesting holiday within the Christian calendar. Of course, it marks the beginning of the Lenten season, where 40 days within the Christian calendar calculation, not 40 calendar days, but 40 liturgical days, until Easter Sunday. So it's a time of preparation. So, which is something that people from all faith traditions could benefit from. Using this time as preparation, perhaps through, so I know in the Catholic tradition, they refrained from eating meat today, that they swung by the church and went to Mass, and they put ashes, which are the ashes are the remnants, the ash of the palms from Palm Sunday last year. That's where they get the ashes from. And when the priest or the deacon applies the ashes, he says simply, remember, man, that you are dust, and unto dust you shall return. So we might look at that, those of us in this tradition and maybe those from the East, as just a remembrance of impermanence. that to everything there is a season. And so it's a good reminder of that. It's a powerful ritual that way. So the quote or the title for March 2nd is Unifying with the Spirit. I'm going to skip down here where Holmes writes, science, logic, mathematics, reason, and revelation are on the side of the one who boldly proclaims the allness of God. We shall do well to follow this path because it means that in the last analysis, right has no opposite, good cannot be denied. Thinking and feeling and sensing this allness, we enter into conscious communion with it. And in some subtle way, we do not understand, its essence flows out into our acts, spilling of itself in and through everything we do, and bringing to bear upon the problems of life an intelligence greater than the human and a power that is transcendent. And so when we think about things like what's going on in Ukraine, the violence being perpetrated, the motivations behind it, the sense of the insanity of it. But of course, there are those within our own community. Our veterans have been subjected to this kind of stuff for off and on for some 20 years now. So we have those among us who know firsthand of the horror of war. And as these pictures are being beamed into our living rooms, we can get distraught, saddened, discouraged, that even with all that we know, with as far as we have come as a human species, that still this naked aggression still makes itself known in our experience. So how to square that with our spiritual practice is, I don't really have an answer for that, except to say that what's being revealed is being revealed to be healed, that maybe the disunity within the conflict, that conflict of watching what an authoritarian military force, how much carnage it can wreak. Hopefully that those of us who live in peaceful, relatively peaceful democracies can appreciate what we have and work in ways to preserve, to cultivate, and to foster it further, to strengthen it. Now, what does that have to do with meditation? Well, it all starts with cultivating a sense of peace and harmony within our own consciousness, because the only place that we have any control of is within our own experience anyway. And Krishnamurti said long ago that it's really kind of futile for us as humans to think that there will be peace anywhere if there's not peace here within ourselves. So when we make time to meditate, this is the great possibility that we create a space for peaceful abiding, for a sense of harmony and serenity, even within those meditations that we have sometimes, that maybe serenity is not the first thing we experience. But with practice, we see that peace and harmony are the direct benefit, and that we are then opened up to the Spirit so that it can then do its thing in intuitive ways. We are intuitively guided to ways that allow us to live our most effective life. And then as we feel, as we have enough, and we are aware of that, then we can be of use to our fellows. And when enough of us on the planet are operating from that place, right? So in this peaceful abiding, we can have different points of view and still stay calm. So that's the great possibility. So, and then, I just wanted to share this last little bit. Holmes goes on today to say, "Today I am affirming the supremacy of good, and everything within me responds to this thought, understands its meaning, and announces its presence. There is a power flowing through me in everything I do and think, automatically making everything whole. There is a transcendence coordinating, unifying, causing all experience of my life to blend into its unity, into its oneness, and proclaiming the power of its might." And so this is our affirmation and our prayer, and maybe even the intention of our meditation tonight is to open ourselves in that ways of peaceful abiding, to allow the presence of the living Spirit to make itself known to us. All right, so let's just start by taking a deep conscious breath and releasing. And let's take another deep breath. And on this release, just let the shoulders drop. Just allow the body to surrender. As we bring our attention to the movement of the breath in the nostril. See, the mind begins to still. Just doing a quick body scan for any tension. If we find those tense places, we just take a deep breath. And breathe into that spot and exhale. And you can actually feel it unwind. Staying with the breath. deep breath. On the exhale, we'll focus our attention on the exhale. Taking a deep breath and releasing as we move into the silence. gently to the room, staying with the breath. Imagine with me the flame of the divine at our very center, our heart center. As we know, there is no spot where God is not, that the energetic of the divine surrounds us, infuses us, is activated within us. But we do this now consciously with the breath. So breathing in the light of the divine, commingling in the heart center, that exchange of energy in the biological body, at a metaphysical level, that there's an energetic happening. That this heart center now is growing in radiance and brilliance, expanding with each in-breath. Breathing in light, releasing love. Breathing in light, releasing love. Extending now beyond the body torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. We can feel an energetic alignment within the body temple. We feel an energetic reaching out from where we sit to join others in this meditation. And so in this field of light and love now, we are embracing in the heart those who are suffering in any way, but particularly in Ukraine. That we are knowing that there's an open-heartedness going on within the combatants, within the leaders, that is awakening even now, awakening them to the futility of armed conflict. That we are knowing this without getting caught up in it, that we are just maintaining our own peaceful abiding. For we understand this is all that we are called to do, because there is that which has all power. The living Spirit. So knowing together then that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life of the divine, both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as this manifest life, in, through, and as our life. We are open now to a divine download at every level of our being, that our body temple is being restored even now as it aligns with that indwelling pattern of perfection, that every atom, every molecule, every cell, every muscle, every organ, every bone, every neuron is aligning and firing with this pattern of perfection. We are expressing fully and completely now radiant good health. That our mind is activated now with new and dynamic ideas. That we are open and receptive to a divine download that intuitively guides us into ways of being that is open and receptive to new ideas, but also understanding that there is an infinite power available to help call these ideas into demonstration. That our heart is open, that we feel connected with our loved ones, that we feel a sense of loving kindness and compassion for all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. So we take a deep breath and release. Release this word. Release our own cares, concerns, intentions. Releasing to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself, that place of unconditional love that knows only to say yes, bound only by the law of its own being, which is infinite. A place that knows only to say yes, my beloved, yes. It is done. And so with a sense of quiet confidence then, as we end this meditation, we make our way through the rest of this evening. As we hit the pillow, we fall easily and effortlessly off to a sleep that is deep, restful, feeling that we dream sweet dreams, that we awaken feeling rested, fully rested, restored, energized with a sense of excitement for the day. So we take a deep breath one more time and release. Just know this with me then by saying simply, and so it is. Amen. So, there's something pretty amazing going on over at CSL Simi Valley if you feel like checking out something else. They're working on the 40-day abundance. I was hoping to do that with him, but we didn't get enough time to coordinate it. So you can go swing over to CSL Simi, S-I-M-I, and see what Reverend Steve Rambo's got going on over there. So thank you for joining us. So next week, why don't you think about coming in? There's lots of places to sit, and we can do so safely. The practitioners will be in soon. We'll be talking about this. We're meeting this Sunday to kind of work out those details. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Of course, we'll be here in person at 9 a.m. and we will be live streaming right here on this channel at 10:30 Sunday morning on May 6th, where I'll be speaking to the big reboot. All right. So until then, thanks for joining us. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you soon.